So this is our SLR, so digital SLR, okay, because it's a digital camera. So no one's used one of these before? Oh, yeah, you have?
Well,
cool.
I've used it, but like not like.
I used it, but not knowing how.
Oh, okay, cool. So, well, I'm only going to give you a really quick kind of crash course in it today, mainly because I put together an iBook that actually has this little interactive camera, and you can actually go in there and play with all the settings, and it does all the stuff for you without you having to have one of these. So we'll look at that later. But okay. So this is our camera. So the big difference between one of these and, say, your normal kind of point and shoots that you normally have is you've got this thing. Alright, so that's your lens. And the reason why it comes off so easily is because they're interchangeable. So you buy different kinds of lenses for different situations. This is the most expensive part. This is just kind of the body, it takes the photos. You can get more expensive camera bodies, obviously, it can do video, it can do high res, but this is where the money's at, okay? That's your lens. And that's a really, really pricey piece of equipment because that is, it's still, in here, is still all moving parts. You know, this isn't digital per se. Everything in here has to move, the lenses have to interchange. It's really, really delicate. If you get one lens knocked out of place, it's really expensive to fix. So that's your expensive part. Put it back in here. It just kind of locks back into place, okay? So that's your zoom as well. I'm just going to turn it on. What you'll find too with your SLRs is you've got a whole bunch of options here. Okay, your normal camera is you just take a photo and you're done. You can do that with this as well, and let's face it, most yuppies that buy this will buy this really expensive $2,000 SLR camera, and they'll just still just do this and just take these little simple shots on auto and take selfies. You know, where you look down but look up. But if you actually start using this, it's really, really powerful. So on auto, it's actually still pretty cool. So on auto, how it works is you adjust your zoom by manually twisting this. And if I were to say, look at this Braemar house, if I kind of eye it, hold the button down, and click, it'll actually focus on where I want to look. It'll automatically focus and zoom in on that option, okay? If I then switch this to manual, which is really what you want to be doing, and I switch my focusing to manual, now you can do a lot more. So now, for instance, if I wanted to take this photo, because it's pretty cool little scenery there. If I wanted to take a photo, but you know what, I didn't actually want to focus on Braemar House, I really want to focus on the trees, or even the landscape behind it, then what you can do is you manually adjust this and focus it. So when you have a look at this, you'll see, I can zoom in, and now I'm manually focusing this. So it focuses on those trees. I'll zoom out a little bit. So it takes time. Alright, and now if you look at that, you'll see that this kind of area is blurred out here, but our background's in focus. It's hard to see on a small screen, but our background's in focus. So that's kind of your manual focusing. So it takes a bit of time, you know, really good to get those kind of that perfect shot. So even this kind of stuff here, if I wanted to focus here, but I'm going to actually focus on those trees. So this is how detailed you can get. If you look at that, again on a bigger screen, I focus just on that one bit of the tree, and everything else is kind of blurred out a little bit. So it really helps you draw your focus. All right. So that's your zoom. So for the sake of today, we're only going to do everything on auto because it's a lot easier, and I'll run you through this other stuff later.
Is it better quality on manual?
Well, it depends on what you want to do. So it's still taking the same photo, like the same quality in terms of size of photo is exactly the same. It's just going to give you a different photo. You know, it's going to change what you're looking at. So the thing is, if I wanted to take a photo right now with this, and I wanted to take a photo of Braemar House, and it focused on Braemar House, and then I have my photo done and I go back and I'm like, oh, I really wanted to actually get the tree behind it, there's nothing you can do. The photo's done, you know. Whereas if you manually do it, then you can manually pick what you want to focus on. So it requires a little bit more thought. You know, you've got to think about what you want to do, what you want to take a photo of, and you've got to sit there and adjust it. And you can do a whole bunch of other things as well in here. You've got things called shutter speeds and ISO settings and all that kind of stuff, which I'm not going to, because I just saw your faces there just kind of drop. But basically, how a camera works is it's all about light. So when you take a photo, what it's doing is it's opening up all these lenses and shutters, letting the light in, and then there it takes its photo. So what you can do as well is you can go in and you can change how much light comes in. So if I open the shutter longer and more light is coming in, you can do different things with photos. Like you may have seen those light paintings, I don't know if you've seen those, where someone stands still and they can like write in light.
Yeah.
So what's happening there is they're letting that shutter speed open and they're getting more light coming in, so it's actually recording a longer photo and then processing it and putting it together. But we're going to look at light painting later on in the term as well. So that's the gist of it. Again, we'll spend more time. Wow, it's really cool. We'll spend more time on doing this later in the term, but for now, what we're going to do is I'm just going to leave everything on auto, unless you want to play with manual, that's fine. And I want you to take your background photo with this, because we're looking at a really, really high resolution photo. So let's try and do one shot. going to be easy for me to remember. Let's go.